Hey guys, and welcome back to You Have to Win the Game. This is gonna be played on the extra spicy campaign instead of the regular one because it's interesting. It's actually really fun, and I think in terms of pacing for a video, it's actually probably better than the original campaign. So it's pretty cool. We're gonna be playing this on normal instead of cat mode because I'm probably gonna die more than 9 times. Probably gonna die more than 30 times. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably not gonna go super well, but we're gonna do it. So just from the get-go, the first jump that you have to do, you sort of have to be aware of how the hitboxes of spikes work because you can actually move pretty far forward before you have to do a jump, and you have to do that in order to actually make that jump. You can really go far before you get hit by the spikes, and if you don't like master how to do that, you're gonna have a really bad time with this, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, we're just gonna still try and focus to get all the money bags. There's a lot of different things about this world. Like if we jump down here, then we just instantly die, and the reason for that becomes pretty obvious when you go down here, and there's just spikes everywhere. And the path I took is just so much easier. The path that we're taking through the game, it's very different from the original campaign, but I think that's what I like about it. You have to make a lot of blind jumps, which I don't really like all that much, but once you know where the blind jumps are, it's not so bad anymore, but it is kind of annoying how many there are. Like over here, you have to hold right, otherwise you don't land on this little block and you die to the water. And from here, we go to the right, where we land on the other side. We have to go back in again, pick up the gold, and with that, we go back to this tower. In the previous tower, we had to not jump. In this tower, we do have to jump, but we're going to jump from here because there's another money mag over there. And here, we're actually going to try and get on top of this nice and quick so we can grab the heart. We're never going to go back to this place, so it's good to just grab this heart immediately. But the heart part is coming up. This room is also quite different because you can actually just leave, and this takes you to the rest of the game. But there is still another money bag that we have to collect. Going down just brings you back to the previous room, so obviously we don't want to do that. But we're just going to go down here, grab the monies, and leave it at that. Grab this money bag as well, which we can grab nice and early compared to the original game. It is cool that you see all these like similar screens, or sometimes even the same screen. Like this screen is just completely untouched. And just have it be in a completely different order than what you're used to, I suppose. We're going to go over here. And you kind of want to hold left on this one. Yes, it's left at this point in the game. To try and land on that platform. If you just hold left, you land on it perfectly every single time. So that's good. Move on over here. You might remember this tower because this is where you get the spider gloves, which is, in the other campaigns, the last item. In this one, it's the first one. But now we have to go to a slightly different place. Like, this was originally an optional area where you had, like, the double jump and everything. In this campaign, you have to do this first, and you don't get the double jump either. It's been made ridiculous. And this is probably the hardest part of the campaign as well. Because, first of all, there's this, where you have to try and land on top of this and then go through that. That's not so bad. But then there's this one in particular. The screen called Nope, Nope, Nope. And it's awful, man. You have to basically land on the perfect pixel here. That, like, you can barely touch the little block that the spikes are. There we go. That's what you can do. And from here, you can jump over to the other side by wall jumping on the block above us. And oh my god, that jump took me 1,000,000 years on my first playthrough. At least 1,000,000 years. Maybe 20 attempts. But still, that's like 1,000,000 years in dog attempts. So that's gotta count for something. That takes us to the underworld, which, again, is in a completely different order from what it used to be. So, kinda interesting. Unfortunately, this hallway is more or less the same. So, I hope you still thoroughly enjoy this hallway over here. We don't see it nearly as much in this particular campaign as we did in the original one, but I mean, this is slightly different, I suppose. You have to wall jump there, but that's it. Then we just go all the way to the left. There's nothing here. This is an empty hallway. It's just nothing. But there's a money bag there, so we had to go there. But with that, we move on. We can jump to the left over there to the safety sign, but it's I don't even think that jump's possible down there, so I'm not going to bother with it. And instead, we're going to go up here, because it makes life a lot easier. Now, there's a screen to the right that we only have to visit once. There's no money bag in it or anything. And there's numerous ways to get there. We don't have a double jump just yet, but we can do sort of a weird wall jump over here. And it allows us to do a double jump anyway. if you hear that particular noise when you jump, it means you did it right. I'm actually gonna just die and do that again because I honestly don't know how it works completely. But you just like you go right, then you press left and right real quick and you jump. And sometimes it works. And sometimes you get that sound. And for some reason it allows you to do a double jump. I really don't know why it allows you to do a double jump, but it does. And that's just how it is. It shows us the screen which has the word art on it. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can also just jump to the right over here. You land exactly on that money bag over there and you don't need to worry about that horrible screen with the spikes literally everywhere. And we can just move on with the level. And I will show off the other method of going there as well, like the ordinary method. But it's interesting that it's possible. It's just some weird glitch, I suppose, with the jumping mechanics where if you do a wall jump weirdly, it allows you to do another one. Like, I don't even know why it allows you to do another jump, but it does. And sure, I guess I'll take it. I'll take the extra jump any day because there's literally no reason to ever visit that screen again. But now we get the double jump, which is the second to last item in the original campaign and the second item in this one, which again I think is just neat. I think it's neat that you get all the items in just a completely different order. But yeah, we're gonna go to the left over here, and this is basically how you're supposed, I guess, to get to the screen. Because this screen's just no longer necessary. In the original campaign, that's where the magic word was, which you needed to beat the game. In this campaign, there is no magic word. There's not going to be a pop quiz at the end of it. There's going to be a little bit of a different challenge, so that's good. This screen's still pretty much unchanged, I do believe, which is probably why it's called I Still Remember. But it's not too difficult. Sometimes you end up dying there 4 or 5 times just because you do weird double jumps that you don't intend to do, but that doesn't sound like anything that would ever happen to me, so I'm just going to move on and leave the underground, because we're actually done here forever. We're never going to go back there ever again. We're just going to jump down here. In the previous campaign, we came from the opposite direction to get over here. Also, there weren't as many spikes, I don't think, but there were some spikes here, I suppose, so it's still kind of the same, but yeah, we come from there now. We don't need to worry about it. We're going to grab the money bag. What is the magic symbol? It's literally nothing. There's numerous ways to actually do this now because the cerulean aura is still in the same place. And you can actually just take the normal route. It's exactly the same. But since we have the double jump, we can also just do this, which is just a little bit more fun. Like we can just try and get past this crab, which actually makes this crab considerably more difficult. And there's absolutely no reason to do this other than that it's more fun to me. And I think that's good enough of a reason. So that's exactly why we're going to do it. Like, this screen's exactly the same. The crab's exactly the same. It's just the screen down here, which is a bit different because we have the wall jump already, so we don't need the platforms to jump back up here again. But other than that, it's just the same screen. It's pretty neat. I like it. We're going to go to the right over here. This screen's a little bit different. There's now less platforms, same amount of jellyfish, but it's not too bad. We got double jumps for days. We can go wherever we want. This screen, I think, is the same. I actually don't know. It might actually be a little lower, like the spikes, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And that brings us back to this, which is actually the same. I'm actually going to do this a little bit differently than I did last time. We're just going to grab that immediately and try to do the next part as it was intended. This one's actually kind of annoying because you have to do kind of a specific jump, like a wall jump off of that platform, and it's pretty much the easiest to do when you just enter the room. Like, that's what you have to do. And it's pretty easy to mess that up. And you don't really want to, because then you have to re-enter the room again, and it's just a hassle. But this is kind of how you're supposed to do this room, I guess. Like, actually use that platform. I'm just going to leave from there and jump over here to get another money bag that we skipped out on previously because we don't have the blue aura yet. And now we're going to go over... Oh, wow, that's sad. I don't even know how you die. Whoa! Oh, everything's changed. My life is a misery now. Okay, there we go. But, yeah, it's... There's certainly some nasty things there, and you are kind of supposed to use the platform there to, like, go to the other side, but you can very easily still just jump to the left if you've been to that room before, and it's just a lot quicker, honestly. This is all still pretty much the same, so I hope you still enjoy this from the last time, where we jumped over these same spikes. Because nothing's changing here. We could just die and go back to the checkpoint. It's probably faster, but I kind of want to try to die as little as possible, but deaths are just going to happen. There's just a couple of really difficult things in this one, and honestly, I just haven't practiced it as much as the other one, because I didn't feel like it. But we're going to backtrack a little bit here. We're actually going to go up here, where previously you could go jump past as if you had to double jump. But now there's actually an area up here, and it's actually the only way to get to this area over here. And there's still some stuff to grab, some money bags to obtain, and I want myself that cerulean aura, whatever it's called. Isn't cerulean the red one? I don't remember. I want the blue one, is what I'm saying. The aqua aura, ghost aura. I don't know what it's called. I actually don't know what it's called, but it's fine. This is a little bit different. This is a pretty tight jump, but it's not as tight as the start of the game. There's actually a lot of things which are just like really hard at the start of the game, and then easier variations of it later on in the game. So yeah, it just happens. There's some difficult thing. It is cerulean. What was the red one then? I don't know. Don't worry about it. We're going to grab that money bag. We have the blue platforms active now, so we can once again spend the rest of our time trying to collect money bags. But for the most part, we're mostly just going to be going to new areas just over and over. It's really cool. I really like it. And first, though, we're going to go back down here. We can't really go through here up to go up, but you can go there to go down, and it saves a lot of time. All things considered. And now we're going to hold right, because we're this far in the game. Try to get that heart without messing it up too bad. And this brings us to another kind of annoying thing, which is this particular screen. I think I said in the original campaign that it's probably possible to get there by using these platforms, but now you actually have to, and it's kind of annoying because you can sometimes just wall jump off of nothing. But fortunately that didn't happen. And if you're trying to do this no death, then this is pretty much hell, because you'd have to like land on the pixel next to the spikes on each of those like walls. It's so awful. It's possible, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty much the worst experience of your life if you try to get all... I've never gotten all the way up doing that, but that's about as far as I've gotten in the past attempts as well. It's so difficult, and it's also just the main reason why we're just not gonna do this without dying. Or at least I'm not. There probably is someone who managed to get 100% on this game without dying, but I'm not going to be that person. I'm just not, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough, and I don't feel like putting in the time to get good enough. So you finally got to see that screen to the right, like more than a quarter of a second, because there's actually a reason to go there now, kind of. Or at least we need to go around that area anyway, because we haven't visited this entire area yet, so it all kind of works out. Money back over there, which is kind of hard to see because it blends in. You can go up here, just like in a similar way as I did in the previous campaign as well, where you just sort of mash jump button and hope you go up there. We did at least visit the screen, which I intended to visit, so we don't need to go there anymore, but... It's that you can actually go all the way up and you don't need to use these platforms, but you do need to remember to visit this screen again because you might have forgotten about it otherwise, and you miss out on precious experiences or percentages. I once again did the same thing I did in the previous campaign where I mashed down too much and end up falling down because I'm a fucking idiot. But you know, we'll get back up there again. One of these days I'm gonna stop just mashing down whenever I'm talking because I just enjoy that he moves his head while I'm just sort of going off on a tangent. At least like something's happening on screen rather than literally absolutely nothing at all. And, you know, it's kind of important. Anyways, there's a wall there, so we can't really do anything there at all. So we are going back over here. There was kind of a really, really tricky part in this area in the original campaign. It's worse. It's definitely worse. First, you have to do kind of a blind jump over there. And I think it's just further away or something, these platforms. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there, but I've usually really struggle with those that particular set of jumps over there. There's a bunch of signs pointing to cats. This room's obviously still the same because you can't have this change. It would just be ridiculous if this particular room changed. And also, if you jump through that teleporter and you go too far right, you hit the spikes up there, which is awesome. You just instantly die, and you end up back, like, before the cat room, because that's how far back the checkpoint is. So this is kind of like a cool mechanic, because the room resets when you re-enter it. You can double jump up here and land exactly on that platform and go through that area very quickly. It actually looks quite nice, and I think that's just really cool. I think that's an interesting use of the mechanics in the game. And it's just really, just nicely designed. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. We're going to go to the left over here first, because there's some things to get. And with things, I mean a singular money bag. But still, things. And with that, we're going to go all the way back again, because there is some stuff up there as well. There's actually just a whole bunch of money bags up here. And it's just sort of oddly satisfying to get a whole bunch of power-ups over here. just like in rapid succession. There's like one over there, two over there, and then there's one on the tree over here because we hadn't seen that yet. And you gotta have one be green in a greenish area because otherwise it would just be too easy to get everything, wouldn't it? Would just be too easy. Also, the corners all look like dogs to me. I don't know what it is, but this like this particular corner and all the other corners look like dogs, like little dog faces everywhere. And it makes this game a lot better once you realize that the entire world is made out of dogs. It's good. It's very good. Gotta go back up here again. This was the area where I didn't really want to go up in the previous campaign, but they made it a lot easier in this one, honestly. It's so much easier to get up there. And we're just going to quickly grab this money bag and then go back again. It is possible to go up here, even though it may not seem like it with that platform gone, but if you do a ridiculously difficult wall to jump there, it is actually possible to just get back up there. And it's kind of ridiculous, but there's really no reason. I mean, there kind of is no reason to do it, but at the same time, you do save like a lot of jumps doing it. Like you have to go all the way around to get there right now in this particular campaign. Also, there's spikes up here, but there's a heart there. And you'll later see a room where you can properly see like what you actually have to deal with there. But right now, we just grab the heart and move on with our lives. Like this is what you'd be skipping if you actually just jumped up there from the start of the game, effectively. Also, this is where we are, in case you might be lost right now. We're actually, like, near the cat room teleporter. But in the bottom area instead of the top one. Yeah, I was afraid of that. This is actually a surprisingly tricky area for sure. Like, I don't know why either. Because it's not much different from the original campaign, outside of that single set of extra spikes. But it's gotten me so many times. It's actually really, really strong, that particular set of spikes. Also, we're definitely going to die here. I'm actually not sure if it's possible to grab that money bag without dying. It might be. Like, it might be, like, barely possible. But you need to do that perfectly. It's so incredibly tight with that bat over there. And the just limited amount of space you have and the spikes being there. There's just a lot of stuff going on there, and I've never been able to get it without dying. I've practiced it. Also, this is where the heart was in like the little face, which is pretty cute looking. And with that, we're going to move on a little bit further. We're almost at the end of the game, and in this one, we don't actually have to repeat the entire game either for like a singular, really quite silly reason. But we do get back to the prawn room. It's pretty much the same, other than, like, right now we have to just look at the bottom left prawn shooting to the right. And once it hits the wall, you can just jump past everything there as long as you manage to not touch the prawn, which is probably the most difficult part of this, really. Like, the rest of it is pretty self-explanatory. Because, yeah. But you do have to be a little bit careful here because there's spikes in the top left and you go to that area by going to that, like, to the right there. And they have to go back to the left to go to this particular area. I don't know how these particular teleporty systems work, but they're very annoying because you don't have much room to move. This takes us to a dead end, but once we go back down here again, we are greeted with this particular room. Not very difficult. I actually struggle with this room a lot more. If you do struggle with this room, like, just go the first time you can. And if you fail, just reset the room because it's just a lot quicker that way. I think they are kind of like almost synced up, but not quite exactly. It just doesn't seem to work out perfectly, but it might just be my imagination. I honestly don't know. But either way, going to jump over here. We're going to jump the moment this platform breaks because it makes this jump a little bit easier and just a little bit more manageable, and I like it that way. Do you know the magic symbol? I do not, because there's not one. There's a money back there, though. And we're just going to keep going to the right. Do we know the magic word? Probably not. I mean, art, maybe, I guess. Art's probably the magic word. So there's a sign here that says don't. If you go left, you go back to the prawn room. I obviously don't want to do that because you can't go back from there. Because, yeah, it's not a good place to be. There's also, like, the Indie Illuminati thing over here, which I think someone put online like a while ago. You can probably Google that. But it's part of the symbol, I think. We're going to go through the teleporter. This room's called Take a Look Below. And when you take a look below, you gotta let it sink in. Because if you go to the top right there, you win. And if you go to the bottom right, you lose. And that's sort of the main difference between the winning and the losing on this one. It's no magic words. You just sort of gotta go. And if you do it wrong, then that's fine. And that's for a particular reason. We're going to go to the lose bubble first, because again, there's a money bag over here. And I kind of want to get that. But because we have infinite lives, we can do something that's great, which is we're going to use these particular checkpoints to just jump all the way up. And it just it saves having to replay the entire game again. And I think that's important enough. You can just use the moving platform to go to the top right here, and it's just a lot more like normal. But this is just so much less annoying, because I don't want to replay the entire game. Also, this is the same ending you get on the normal campaign as well. So there you go. Now you've seen it without being in cat mode, and we died 21 times. So I'm kind of happy that I didn't play in cat mode, because we'd have to restart 2.5 times, assuming we could continue from our restart, which doesn't make sense. But yeah, we win the game. Winner is us. We're here again. And I'm going to leave it at that. That's the game. We've done everything there is to do. There is well, we technically didn't do everything, I suppose. There is some other stuff you can do, like you can play it in new and exciting video modes. I have it set to this. By default, it's set to like this, I think. And I really, really dislike the way this looks. I am not the intended audience for this. And also, I'm pretty sure what I just realized now is that not having CRT simulation turned on probably stretches out the characters a lot, doesn't it? I'm actually not sure. This is like more manageable, but there's only 4 colors, and I don't really. I like colors, man. I like more than 8 colors. I like things. I like all these cool things, and you know, it's just. I prefer to keep it like this. It's just better for me. Also, there is a down jump mode, which I actually didn't know, but there you go. But yeah, that was You Have to Beat the Game. I'm done with this game now. There is a sequel to this. It costs money. It's called like Super Win the Game. I've never played it, but it's probably pretty good. You should probably play that game as well. But you should definitely play this game because it's free, so you might as well. What's stopping you? I don't know. Just do it. I'm going to go now. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.